Click below to watch the original video. What? Fuck it.
Despite being ordered to stop by multiple authority figures, this asshole kid continues to assholely.
A child not doing what they've been instructed to do by an authority figure? Wow, what a strange and unusual occurrence. I am shocked by this.
So if this pyramid never popped, no one would ever know that one of the Great Pyramids was missing, making the time spent to steal the pyramid completely useless. Isn't the whole point of stealing this giant monument to show people how powerful you are, or to ask for a ransom to return it, or something? If no one knows that it's gone, then what's the f***ing point?
To have it, and potentially sell it? Isn't that, you know, the main purpose of theft?
The Great Pyramid of Giza had been stolen and replaced by a giant inflatable replica.
Not only did nobody see the inflatable pyramid go up, it was apparently done with a hand pump by one dude.
No. Those are the security guys we saw before trying to re-inflate the pyramid. It seems to me like you really missed the point of this entire scene. And, you know, the stuff that's happening in it. Hey look, it's Dara O'Brien.
Gru! Ah, Dr. Nefario.
Can I just pause here to say how much I love this gag? Gru trying to play it cool while there's a fucking dog hanging off his arm is one of the funniest things in this movie. And I just wanted to stop and appreciate that.
Gru has a video chat camera that accepts calls by itself, allowing Gru to be inevitably caught in an awkward situation in his living room.
Oh, come on, Jeremy. Who wanks in their living room? Seriously. Don't act as if that's not what you were implying.
We stole the Statue of Liberty! The small one from Las Vegas.
Minions, many of which were presumably in on the heist to steal the smaller Statue of Liberty, are disappointed to learn what they should already know.
What, you think all of the minions should have been in on that heist? To steal something that no one really has that much interest in really guarding? Even when later in the film we see a team of only 3 minions successfully stealing a shrink ray from a secure facility?
Seems like the only people that are walking around on the streets of this city are unsupervised children. Is this the Outsiders?
They're the only people we're shown, therefore they must be the only people walking around in the city. There is not sufficient evidence to back up this statement.
Honestly, this is the real villainous behavior. Most normal people wouldn't give a shit about a guy stealing tourist attractions from around the world, but I can guarantee you they'd care about some Mike Wazowski-shaped asshole destroying their car.
He freezes several people at the beginning of this film.
Why does a receptionist need 2 computer screens, especially ones this far apart?
Maybe sometimes there are 2 receptionists. Bank of Evil computers apparently need to have a red tint over everything, including task windows, which must be really annoying to use. And it's pretty pointless to continue the aesthetic anyway, since the customers will probably never see it.
Mom, someday I'm going to go to the moon.
Oh, I'm afraid you're too late, son. NASA isn't sending the monkeys anymore.
The director said, let's have your bank loan officer character eat an apple in this scene.
No one says that because he doesn't eat that apple, he crushes it. That said, this joke...
The director said, let's have your bank loan officer character eat an apple in this scene. It'll make him look like an even bigger bank loan officer.
Did make me laugh, so here's one sin off.
With far too few of your sinister plots actually turning a profit.
Let's talk about that for a second. Based on what we've seen so far, it doesn't appear that any of these villains are holding the items they steal for ransom, nor do they have any intention of selling them on some international monument black market.
This does sound like a reasonable claim, until you realize it's based on absolutely no evidence whatsoever. There is not sufficient evidence to back up this statement.
So why are these guys so scared and relieved by this test? Haven't they done this before? The shrink race technology has been around for long enough for Gru to hear about it and make a plan to steal it, so they should have done many of these trials.
Jeremy makes a wild out-of-nowhere claim based on little to no evidence, and then acts all self-righteous about it. There is not sufficient evidence to back up this statement.
Vector's playing the Wii, but there's no motion sensor bar on this TV. And anyway, the whole point of the Wii was to get the players standing up instead of sitting on the couch eating potato chips, so Vector's doing this Wii all wrong.
You've never owned a Wii, have you?
How big is this town anyway? Not only are the 2 most wanted international villains located within what looks like a mile from each other, the orphanages nearby?
Maybe it's not a coincidence that all these things are near each other, Jeremy. You know, maybe we're introduced to Gru and the orphans and Vector because they all factor into the plot. You seem to be making it out that we were introduced to these 3 groups of people at random, and then it was a massive coincidence that our stories intersected. Now, I have a proposition. Call it a theory. That maybe, just maybe, we were introduced to all these characters because they factor into the plot. Now, if I recall correctly, I made a sin very similar to this on my first ever Sin Sins video, which makes me think there's a tiny possibility you might not be watching and learning from my videos. Seriously, have you learned nothing?
What about the air?
This kind of backtalk would have easily put Margot in the box of shame back at the orphanage.
You have, like, no evidence to support that. I mean, I guess I'm okay with you making stretches of logic like this one, but for someone making a point with absolutely no evidence in the movie to back it up, you sure do talk like you're an authority on the matter. There is not sufficient evidence to back up this statement.
This kind of backtalk would have easily put Margot in the box of shame back at the orphanage. And since this sassy retort gets basically no reaction from Gru, I would submit that Miss Hattie is more evil than either Gru or Vector.
I mean, you say you think Gru is less evil than Miss Hattie, but remember this a few seconds ago when you sinned Gru for being too casual about child murder?
Well, I suppose the plan will work with two.
Sure, Gru's a villain and all, but does his villainy typically involve child murder? He's incredibly casual about this.
Yeah, I'd say that's a contradiction right there.
What are these?
1,000 boogie robots!
I know this is a comical misunderstanding, but why did Dr. Nefario give all the boogie robots tiny boogie boobs?
Tiny boogie boobs. Oh wait, no, I think I want to take off a sin for that. Although, fuck it, I'll leave the sin counter the same.
What I really wanted to show you was this.
Now those are cooking robots!
This is the only thing that Gru's asked Nefario to work on.
No. I mean, that's just straight up not true. I mean, let's examine this whole sin for a closer look.
This is the only thing that Gru's asked Nefario to work on, but he led this presentation with an anti-gravity juice and the silly fart gun.
Okay, so we don't get anything about the anti-gravity juice. I mean, the film never shows Gru asking for that, but that doesn't mean he didn't ask for that, so what you've got there is already a leap in logic. And then we come to the fart gun, where it is specifically implied in this scene that Gru had previously asked Dr. Nefario for a dart gun, and Dr. Nefario had misheard him, meaning that he had asked Dr. Nefario for other things. Editing error!
Casual vehicular homicide is casual. Also, this really does serve the dude right. Who the f*** would fish off a guardrail on a steep curve of a busy-ass highway?
Busy. Highway. Ass. I suppose my point is that is neither busy nor a highway nor an ass.
Gru! You and I have been working on this for years. Your chance to make history.
They've been working on this for years. Gru just went to ask the bank for a loan after Nefario told him they didn't have enough money. Then he steals the ray and builds the rocket within 12 days. So why did this take years?
I mean, okay, let's not even mention the part where they had to research and then plan to steal a shrink ray. Because I'm guessing that, took a little while. Maybe the part where they planned a manned mission to the moon? Maybe that took a while? I don't know, sounds like something that might be a tad time-consuming. Maybe you could knock out a plan to get to the moon in, a few days or something, including, blueprints for a rocket and all of that shit. But, maybe it would take some other people a little longer than that, years.
Yeah, something like this would happen if the moon went away.
I'm sorry, what? Are you saying that if the moon went away, all of the waves would suddenly disappear? Because, no. You know that waves have momentum and shit, right? So, today's end segment. What is it? Well, it's something I said I'd be doing for an end segment right at the beginning. Back when I announced end segments, this was one of the examples I gave of something I might do for an end segment, and I haven't done it yet. So I thought, hey, I'll do it today. Today I'm going to be sinning a Cinema Sins knockoff channel. The video I found to sin is called Let's Fail Despicable Me, and it's by Brooks Show. If you want to go check it out, I'll link it on screen now. Apart from that, let's get sinning it. Oh, and by the way, while I'm here, I'm working on that Q&A, and also on Everything Wrong with Frozen. An inability to spell the word everything.
Slavery. Who do you think the pharaoh got to build those pyramids?
Yeah, that's the movie's fault.
Oh, despicable me.
I'm not sure who sings this stupid rap song, but
you don't sing a rap.
He makes all other villains look lame.
If anything to make a Gru look lame, it's that fruity gray turtleneck.
I think Archer might have something to say about that.
Slavery. Again, and these minions seem to be sadistically happy to be Gru's bitches.
If it's consensual, then it's not slavery. Also, it's later revealed in this film that the minions are paid, so it's definitely not slavery.
Do I look like I speak Spanish?
That's racist.
That's plagiarism-y.
Como un burro.
Oh.
This just goes to show that if you give a girl a few compliments, she'll do whatever you want. That's sexist.
Mate, that was not a compliment.
Stay away from there and scratch!
I guess fake-outs aren't just a DreamWorks thing. They put them in every kid's movie.
I've seen 2 people sin this film now, and both of them failed to mention how shit this Iron Maiden is.
This asshole is testing his weapons on his own people. Shameful.
A shrink ray is not necessarily a weapon.
That ooh is a little too close to the aliens from Toy Story.
Oh yeah, because you're totally in a position to fail something for being too similar to something else.
Get as close in as you can!
Star Wars Cloud City ripoff.
That thing I just said? Well, imagine I said it again. I'm sorry, what? Time bonus? Why? I mean, surely that just means you're adding extra fails for the lengths of clips you chose and for the amount of time you kept talking. So, how is the time relevant? Hey, it feels a little bit weird to be going straight from a punishment into an outro card again. But still, here we are. If you've enjoyed this, why not click one of these links?